Hey, what's happening, folks? TextBoy91 here, and it is week number 11. We have new fantasy slash team of the week items and packs, and they are Rashad Jennings, Danny Trevathan, Brandon Boykin, Garrett Graham, along with Bobby Rainey, Malcolm Floyd, Vontaze Burfict, I believe they pronounce his name, Ben Roethlisberger, got Big Ben in the game, Jarius Byrd, who is our defensive player of the week, and the DirecTV star of the week is Julius Peppers. So let's take a trip to the auction block and check out these new fantasy items. Here is our first card, Rashad Jennings. I did not watch that Oakland Raider game because Mike McGlynn was playing quarterback and it wasn't Terrell Pryor, and I wanted to see how Terrell Pryor played, but he's injured, so Mike McGlynn started. He did a good job, won the game. Rashad Jennings got the start at halfback because Darren McFadden has been injured a lot this season, a lot for the past couple seasons. So I don't want to say Darren McFadden's a bust, but I think he might be a bust at this stage in his career because the guy's always injured and always fumbling the ball. So he might be a bust. He might be a bust. But Rashad Jennings, like I said, 22 carries, 150 yards, a touchdown. Pretty solid day for this guy. Deserved this card. 89 speed, 87 carry, 89 trucking. A good trio right there. I do like this card. I like his price. If I was building a cheap team, let's say I got the new Xbox One or the PS4 and I'm one of the good cheap teams to play online with, I might pick this guy up. The carry is kind of suspect. I don't like backs with low carry. Chris Johnson's on my team. He has 87 carry, and trust me, he fumbles the ball a lot. So keep in mind where Rashad Jennings has a high trucking and probably a good strength, but that carry is so suspect, so keep that in mind when you're using this card. But Alfred Morris, same speed, doesn't have his trucking, and also has the same acceleration, pretty much the same agility, the same ball carrier vision. So the guy looks like to be a tank out there. You just got to keep in mind the 87 carry. If you can't truck a guy, just make sure you go to the ground. Otherwise, you're going to be coughing the ball up a lot and losing games because of it. So we have another right outside linebacker in Danny Trevathan. I hope next year Madden Ultimate Team they get rid of the right outside linebacker, middle linebacker title and just call them inside linebacker and outside linebacker to help with people's defensive schemes, because a lot of outside linebackers in this game. You got the Clay Matthews, you got Von Miller that aren't really linebackers. They are pass rushers, but they got that title, so everybody uses them in the wrong spots on their team. But in this case, Danny Trevathan, he is a coverage linebacker. He's actually the Broncos' best linebacker on their team. You may say Von Miller is. No, Von Miller is a left end. I don't care what nobody says about that. He's a left end. You may say Wesley Woodyard. He also kind of is rushes the passer. So Danny Trevathan is an integral part to that Broncos middle linebacker front, and he's a good coverage linebacker. So I'm going to assume this guy has good coverage stats, because right now their website does not have this guy as man or zone defensive listed. So I'll list that in the description below so you guys can check him out. But good speed, good tackle, and a pretty good play record. But the card really is not that great, but you guys see its price. 3,000 coins. Can't be really too negative about it. I'm going to try him out. I always try to find good coverage linebackers out there in the field, because in this game, you put a guy in position with bad coverage stats such as Clay Matthews, or you got the Von Miller. These guys do not do anything well, but I believe Danny Trevathan might be a good player, so I'll try him out for you guys. His price is very cheap as well, so it's worth the risk, and hopefully you guys try him out as well, see how he plays at that right outside linebacker position. But this guy will not be a good left end, just so you guys know. Brandon Boykin's Philadelphia Eagle cornerback is having himself a pretty good season. And actually, those Philadelphia Eagles are balling out there. I had to talk with Cullenberger before the season started, saying that the Cowboys have the best defense in that NFC East division. Boy, was I ever wrong. Like, the Eagles out there are balling, out there bending but not breaking. They're doing a good thing out there. And Brandon Boykin's having himself a good season. 4 solo tackles, 3 pass breakups, 1 INT. Got that interception at the end of the game against RG3 when he threw the ball. Just threw it up. Threw the ball out of bounds. Threw it at somebody's face. He threw it right to Brandon Boykin for no reason. So got himself a nice fantasy card, and I'm not too happy about this card. 92 speed. That's good. Good agility. Good man coverage, but the zone coverage, the play recognition, and the awareness is very, very low, with the tackling being not really usable. I'm not going to use this guy. He's not a versatile cornerback. I like cornerbacks that can play zone along with playing man coverage, because I don't want to just sit out there in one defensive scheme. And if you're playing man the entire time, your opponent knows it. He has a scrambling quarterback. He'll be able to get out of those pockets and beat you up for good yardage. So I'm not going to use Brandon Boykins. I wouldn't even pay 5,000 coins for him. I'd probably pay around 2,000, and his price will get down there as soon as these new outsider cards drop this Friday. Man, my first response when I saw this Garrett Graham was, holy bleep, this guy is cheap. An 88 overall fantasy tight end going for basically under 2,000 coins. That is crazy. That is really absurd. This guy has to have bad stats. That Kyle Rudolph last week or 2 weeks ago, whoo, those stats were terrible. So I'm afraid to flip this card over. Like, I don't know what this card's stats are going to look like. Let's check it out. Yeah, this card's bad. Woo, this card is bad. I can see why it's going for nothing. 79 speed, terrible. Terrible route running. He has his best thing about this card is catching in traffic. That's still pretty low. 88 overall. Yeah, I can see why this card is going for so cheap, so why would I even talk about this card? Let's go to the next one. You know what? Instead of going to the next card, why the hell is this card at 88 overall? Like, if anything, like, I didn't mind last year when the fantasies were like 70s or when they're like 60. Whenever they were low rated, I didn't mind it at all. Like, they seem to be doing this year. They're keeping fantasies like 85 and higher. Give this guy like an 80 overall fantasy card. Don't lie to me. Don't basically say this card is an 88 overall tight end when you know damn well this card is not an 88 overall tight end. That makes no sense. It's annoying. Come on, EA. You gotta get your bleep together. Stop this nonsense. Stop labeling cards as the wrong overalls. It is getting annoying and you guys are being lazy. Stop this BS. So if you guys are Buccaneer fans, you get happy. You got an 89 overall halfback in Bobby Rainey who's out there balling for some reason. Buccaneers are getting their stuff together. Greg Shannon about to give himself an extension, but that's besides my point. You guys are Buccaneer fans. Come to the auction block, type in fantasy halfback Buccaneers. You see nothing. You know why? Madden out here slipping once again. He's a freaking Raven. Like, come on, man. Like, you got the damn tight end this week and Garrett Graham, who's terrible. You got this Bobby Rainey list labeled under the wrong team. I don't know what these guys are doing. I honestly have a feeling that they don't know what they're doing either. Somebody there thinks Bobby Rainey's a Baltimore Raven and it was a Buccaneer. I don't know what they're doing at all. But anyway, this card is pretty cheap. 4,000 coins for a pretty high tier halfback, 89 overall. The second one this week. Good speed. Same that 87 carry. Not the best. 86 trucking, that's pretty good. A 5'8" back with 86 trucking, that's pretty good. I like his elusiveness. I like his acceleration, his agility. But I'm not going to be buying this card. 4,000 coins is not a bad price though. If I had a team to build, I needed a good speedy halfback who was really tough. I might pick him up, but my running backs right now are set, so I'm not going to try him out. Unless you guys want to see some gameplay with him. But as of now, not going to use this guy. But his price is really, really cheap. It's probably going to come down 2,000 coins as well this past weekend. So if you guys are going to pick him up, I suggest you wait. The price will get cheaper. You guys know that. The Ocean Rainbow went down for like 5,000, 2,000. You got the Mark Ingram, who was like 10,000, dropped down to 5,000. Like, these cards' prices dropped drastically, so just wait until this weekend. Get Bobby Rainey and use this Kentucky running back. Is it from Kentucky or Western Kentucky? One of those two damn teams in Kentucky. Michael Floyd had himself the game of his career this past Sunday, racking in 1 touchdown, 193 yards, and 6 receptions. That is a great game out of this guy. 92 speed, that's nice. Good catching, good release, good spec catch. The only thing I don't like about this card is his route running and his catching in traffic. I can kind of get over route running because I use Des Bryant, who's a bad route running, but the catching in traffic is not where I like it to be. I like receivers with high catching in traffic. If they don't have good catching in traffic, they are unreliable. That's why I don't use Demaryius Thomas no more. 85 catching in traffic out of him did not do him any justice. So Michael Floyd, the only thing that's saving you for me, basically to buy you, would be your height. That 6'3" body frame is great. Tall wide receiver with good speed, good release, and good catching. That is a nice combination right there. I'm going to go ahead and compare him to Jordy Nelson, who was the same height as him and around the same price, so you guys see a good gauge. And right now, Michael Floyd is very good. Like, the stats are very similar to Jordy Nelson. There's some aspects he's better at, some aspects he's not. And that'd be catching in traffic. Everything else is relatively close. So if you guys are looking for a nice second option wide receiver, you can't afford Jordy Nelson right now, Michael Floyd is your guy. So if you guys got 12,000 coins, pick him up. He'll be a nice 1 or 2 wide receiver in this Madden Ultimate team. And on top of that, he's double chem boosted for those that care about chemistry. I don't care about chemistry though. Whoever scouts talent for the Cincinnati Bengals needs a raise. This guy finds good talent every single year in the draft, and Vontaze Burfict is a perfect example of that. Last week we had the Vincent Ray, who was very, very good in verse, and now we got Vontaze Burfict, who was just as good as him. I like this guy's card. He's so versatile. I was confused about this card originally just because I didn't know what position he really was playing. I didn't know if he's a middle linebacker, outside linebacker, or defensive end type player, but this guy pretty much can do anything he wants to. He's such a super athlete. He has a 93 hit power. 93 hit power. That is great. Has an 83 power move, which is really great as well. With the 78 zone coverage, not so good in man coverage, but great in zone coverage, and also has like a 74 catch rating. So this guy, he can catch the ball, play zone coverage, hit the quarterback as hard as he can, and stop runs. Like, this guy is a beast. I like this guy's card. I got to get this guy on my team. I want to try him out at the right outside linebacker slot, right next to Luke Kuechly. And I also might try him out blitzing because this guy has a nice block shed and a nice power move. I'm going to try this guy out. He is a super athlete. If you guys want him, pick him up for around 20,000 coins. That's a good price for him. But if you can't afford him, Vincent Ray is just as good. So get yourself a Vincent Ray. He's at 10K right now, 11K I should say. So he's just as good as the Vontaze Burfict. But these two guys are very, very good. Man, that Cincinnati Bengals scout has to be living the life. Getting good talent, getting paid very well. The only thing this guy might be getting mad about is his quarterback. And I feel bad for him because they ain't win no Super Bowl with Eddie Dalton at quarterback. That is a fact. That is a fact. But Vontaze Burfict, that is a good card. And he will be on my team sometime soon. This week's offensive star is Ben Roethlisberger, and I'm not mad he got himself a card. He was next in line. Antonio Brown already has himself a fantasy card, along with having himself an elite road to the playoff card. So Ben Roethlisberger was next in line, and he deserved himself this card. But I don't like this guy's card. Come on, guys. Like 73 speed, I don't mind that at all. 73 speed is probably right for this guy. He can evade would-be tacklers, and that fits fine with what this guy can do. The awareness, right where it should be. Throw power, that's great. It should be higher than that. I feel like Ben Roethlisberger has a big arm, but throw power is very low for this guy. It should be higher than that. Throw accuracy, that's on the money. Same as Cam, same as Matt Stafford. I can deal with that. But that throw deep, like, come on now. I know Ben Roethlisberger has a deep throw. Like, I've seen that guy throw deep balls all the time to Mike Wallace, to Antonio Brown. A guy can throw the ball deep accurately. So that deep throw being 81, that is not too good at all. So this guy really is not worth 30,000 coins. And luckily, you guys who are Steelers fans or Ben Roethlisberger fans, you already know this guy will be like at 10,000 coins within a week. So if you guys are going to pick him up for that price. Paying 30,000 coins for a guy with a terrible deep ball and also a terrible throw power. I'm not saying it's not bad. 93 is not bad, obviously, but it should be higher than that. Not worth 30,000 coins. 15,000, maybe 10,000. Kind of, sort of, yes. You go ahead and pick him up. 8,000, get him. That's a good deal. But right now, Ben Roethlisberger, I wanted to make a bad joke. I wanted to make a very, very bad joke, but I held reserve on that. I like Ben Roethlisberger, but right now, just say no. Damn it. Here is the Jarius Byrd, and originally I wanted this guy on my team. I like this guy card, mostly because of the tackling at 80 overall. Usually safeties in this game have terrible tackling. Like, they're always like a 65, like a 62. They're very, very bad at tackling. This guy is a good tackle. 90 speed, 96 zone, that's great. And even though he's not a cornerback, he has some good man coverage and good press. Like, that is pretty solid for this guy at his position. I like this guy. The play recognition is very, very low, so is his awareness. And then I went ahead and compared him to the Charles Woodson, along with looking at his card's depth chart stats, and I'm not too fond of it. Before I go ahead and compare these two cards, the Jarius Byrd has a 56 hit power, so he's not laying no wood, but he has an 82 catch. So he can catch balls thrown at him, but he's not laying no wood, and that 80 overall tackle will go to waste. You need hit power along with tackle in this game. Otherwise, you'd be looking like Luke Kuechly out there with a 90 overall tackle, but an 83 hit power and getting trucked by Thurman Thomas all the damn time. So that's not a good combination to have. But Charles Woodson right now is 40,000 coin. The Bird's at 75,000. Obviously, you go with Charles Woodson. The tackling's not there, but the speed is very similar. So is his awareness is up by 4. Play rate is up by 7. Zone's not the greatest, but it's still pretty good. And as a true safety, he's not going to be needing press and also man coverage. So that's out the window. So if you guys want a nice, cheap, free safety, Charles Woodson outsider card is a beast. But Jarius Byrd, if he comes down around that price, I will definitely pick him up because his card stats are very, very good compared to other safeties in this game. Go ahead and check out him compared to Reggie Nelson. Yeah, like the tackling is in his favor. He also got the zone coverage a lot better in his favor. And here's Earl Thomas. Yeah, just like this card is pretty solid. So if the price comes down, I'll definitely pick him up. But right now, I'm not paying 70,000 coins for a safety. Hell no. Here is Julius Peppers, DirecTV Star of the Week. I don't know why he got himself a card, 2 sacks. I thought there were other players out there, specifically on his team, that had a better week than him, but I guess those 2 sacks, 11 tackles are good enough to get him a nice high-tier card. I'm not a big fan of this card just because the stats aren't really that significant and boosted up. Like, the finesse move went up by a lot, which is nice. So the power move, as really good as this guy is a beast. He has a good finesse move and a nice power move, which is a good compliment to have at that defensive end slot. He also is very, very tall, 6'7", one of the taller defensive ends in the NFL. So he can have to get up there and knock balls down if he can't get to the quarterback. So that's very, very nice. But I don't like this card's price. Right now it's going for right around 80K because each collectible that you got to get for the collection, you got the 17 to 20,000 each, so you'd be spending between, like I said,
like not 40, but like 75 and like 81, like somewhere around that price range for this card. That really isn't worth it. I've seen people on Twitter making a big fuss about its finesse move being at 95 overall. I'm like, really? Like, that's all y'all care about, a finesse move at 95 overall? Not that big of a deal. You guys can clearly see how good it is from this gold card, but if you guys want a good defensive end, there are other substitutions. You want a guy with a high finesse move, you got the JPP. He has a really, really high finesse move, and he's very, very cheap as well. And the card of my choice, and the card that everybody should have on their team, is the 92 Von Miller. That 92 Von Miller is a beast. Like, that is one of the best left ends, right ends in this game. Like, I love using that guy. And on top of that, he's very, very cheap. He has a 95 finesse move and has an 84 power move. So, Von Miller, if you want a good, cheap defensive end, 20,000 coins, pick him up. Julius Peppers, if he comes down to that price, that would be a good price to pick him up for. I'm hoping that the price of each collectible drops respectably, because I want this guy on my team only because I'm a Panther fan, and I do not want to see him go to Chicago Bears. But if I had to pay 80,000 coins for this guy, I definitely would not pay that, just because you can't sell the card. And that is one of the major reasons why I wouldn't do the collection. And also, the stat boosts really aren't that good compared to Von Miller. And if I had 80,000 coins to spend, I would honestly think about getting the Team Cam Von Miller, just because I can always sell that card, and plus it has way better stats. So if you guys want a cheap defensive end, get the 92 Von Miller. He is a beast. If you can't afford him, Jason Pierre-Paul is also good as well. So Julius Peppers, you are a beast. You had a good game, but the card is going for way too much, and I'm not paying that, and neither should you guys.
And that is the video, folks. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And before I go, this week's Football Outsider stars are Joe Haden, limited edition. He limited AJ Green to 2 catches for 7 yards, 2 INTs, and 1 pick 6. That is a great day out of Joe Haden, out there showing he's a good cornerback. We got Joique Bell from the Detroit Lions. I don't know who he is. I know he's a bronze card in this game, but I don't know who he is. Second among running backs with 46 DYAR. Don't know what that DYAR stuff is, so ask somebody in the comment section below. I have no clue what that is. We have Shaun Phillips from the Denver Broncos. 2 pass deflections, 2 tackle for losses, 4 hurries with a sack on Alex Smith. Good game out of that guy. Left tackle Michael Roos from the Tennessee Titans. Mostly blocking. Robert Mathis allowed no sacks or no hurries. That's a good job out of him, slowing down that good pass rush from the Indianapolis Colts. And our last card this week is, drumroll please, no drumroll actually, no drumroll at all. We have a Bobby Wagner, middle linebacker from the Seattle Seahawks. 8 stops, defensive plays that prevent a successful yardage gain, including a sack and an interception. So those are this week's stars of the week. I'm kind of salty. I wanted a Thomas Davis, whether it be a fantasy card, whether it be a Football Outsider card. Cam Newton, I wasn't too really mad about, just because he had a good game, but it wasn't like out bleeping standing. So I don't mind not getting a card this week, but I really wanted Thomas Davis. So hopefully they give that man a card upcoming sometime soon. And other stars of the week that they considered were Marcell Dareus, you had Donnie Jones, JJ Watt, along with Russell Okung and Charles Woodson. So that's this week's video. Like I said, hope you guys enjoyed it. Drop a like if you did. I'm the Texas boy, and I'm out this mother bleeper. Peace.